I don't think the best quarterback on this football team is starting right now.
Wow. Let's bring in our friend Howard Eskin, WIP and Philadelphia legend. I mean, and then you had a guy quitting today. Howard, appreciate you doing this. Let's start with the Giants game first. How about this? Where do you want to start?
Well, I said this years and years ago when they were a horrible team. They're not a horrible team, but they're not good enough right now. I said, and this is a terrible thing to say, but just take it with the sarcasm was meant years ago. I said to guys, one of the guys asked me, what would you do with this team? I said, I'd pull about 5 guys out of the locker room, maybe 6. And I said, you guys wait here. Then I'd throw a bomb in the locker room, blow it up, and start all over again.
I love it.
Yeah, but you can't say that now. And people don't, in the world we live in today, I don't.
People can't handle euphemisms, but that's okay, right?
Yeah. The bottom line is, I think the team, there are people on the team, quit is a word that players don't like. They don't like when you say that. And I don't know if they quit, but Jalen Carter bailing out before the game starts doesn't show me what I want to see. Hey, listen, you got, what was it, a heel problem, whatever. You're playing on turf. Don't give me that. They need the game. You're coming off a loss. You need the game. I thought they were going to split with the Giants anyway, because when the NFL schedules 2 games within 3 weeks, it's hard to beat that same team in the division twice in 3 weeks. Now they got to worry about beating them. Not this coming week. Obviously, they play at Minnesota this week, and then the following week they come home against the Giants. But so it started with Jalen Carter, and then Quinyon Mitchell, who's a stud at corner, had a hamstring and didn't want to go back into the game. Hamstring tightness, I guess, whatever excuse they use.
Really, if it was serious, Howard, to your point, he'd have been in getting treatment and they would have started working on him right there, not standing on the sidelines. Correct. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, but so he bails out. What was it, in the third quarter?
Yeah.
And he bailed out. That's not a good sign for this team. This team has some team issues right now. And that's part of the issue. And I'm going to say this. I don't think the best quarterback on this football team is starting right now.
Wow.
Hey,
Xander, I want this. Okay. Who do you think is the best quarterback who should be starting for the Philadelphia Eagles? Howard Eskin.
I think Tanner McKee right now should be the starter. And everybody blames the offensive coordinator. You can only do so much when the player can't execute those plays. You look at the breakdowns, and Brian Baldinger does a good job. And he breaks it down, and you see so many guys that Jalen Hurts, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, that's not picking up open receivers. He's not going through his progressions. He's not Baker Mayfield in that regard. He's not Stafford in that regard. He's not Jared Goff in that regard. Cam Newton, who I think is an idiot. However, he said last week that he doesn't think Jalen Hurts is in the top 15. I'm not going to go that far. But all these people in Philadelphia, and people are going to jump all over me, and you're going to make me look like the bad guy. And I might get that guy from the Eagles to call me up and threaten me again. So it's just, and it's not Howie, and it's not Nick, and it's not the coaches. So, let's leave that out of it. But the reality is, he's just not making the progressions. Now, is Tanner McKee as athletic? I mean, I watched Tanner McKee in camp. He's got a great arm. He's not as athletic, so he's not going to do the RPOs and all. But Jalen's not doing those now because teams are defending against that. And he scrambles when he should be passing. He scrambles for a run. but Tanner McKee can make the progressions. He's a sharp, really sharp guy. Again, and people are going to think I'm crazy to say right now he's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But look what we've seen. Jalen doesn't make the plays that good quarterbacks
You
have
think
to
he's
make.
regressed?
No, I just think teams have defended against the run, and now it's not. You're not going to be as effective. He's not a quarterback that can throw 30 sometimes and be effective.
So
That's just
you're
not.
saying they should bench him?
I don't think they can, because then the whole thing blows up. But he's not. All I'm saying is he's not the best quarterback on the team right now. I'm not going to say. You can say that they can bench him. I'm not going to. All hell break loose if I said that. No, he's got to work his way out of it. But when you blame the offensive coordinator, when you make a play call and he doesn't execute it as well as the play call should have been executed, I'm tired of people blaming the coaches. It's too easy to blame the coaches. There's some coaches that are idiots. I get it. But I don't think the Eagles are that team. I think they have good coaches. It's interesting, and I haven't seen anything yet. Nick Sirianni was supposed to speak today. I'm checking right. Supposed to speak today at 3:15. I don't think he's spoken yet. It's a Zoom call or whatever it is. It's
Yeah,
on. So,
it's Zoom.
but I got to think that they're in the midst of trying to make a trade. Sometimes they hold these things up, and he doesn't come down because in their midst of trying to make a trade. And I can't believe they're going to trade AJ Brown.
He just went live.
Oh, okay. So
the Eagles he just went live right now. Okay. So you think that they're working on something behind the scenes? Because, by the way, so let's get to the news of the day.
I just saw you put out something. I didn't say they should bench.
Take that down because you didn't say bench.
I said he's not the best quarterback on the team right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna reset that after we are
okay. All right.
Hang on, I'm gonna do that because you did correct yourself, and I want to make sure that
I didn't. I never said bench. I said he's not the best quarterback on the team.
You don't. No, you didn't. All right. So what did you think of the news of Zadarius Smith quitting today?
Maybe he knew he wasn't going to play, and he just wanted to try to get somewhere else. I can't. Because it happened already. That's not the biggest
rusher, Howard.
I know, but that's not their biggest problem. That's not their biggest problem. Here's another thing.
Do you think their biggest problem is quarterback?
Right now, the quarterback is the one that makes it. The quarterback is the most important position on the team. Here's another thing that happened, and I kind of wondered about that. Jalen Hurts, represents the Jordan brand, right? They opened a store in Philadelphia I think it's called Jordan World.
Yes.
Okay. The grand opening was Friday, and I think they scheduled that because the Eagles played on Thursday, so they didn't have a game on Sunday. And not one teammate was there supporting him. Doesn't that seem a little odd? I'm just throwing it.
You're just throwing gold nuggets right now.
No, I'm just telling you. Doesn't it seem a little odd that not one of his teammates was there? You get somebody, the 40th player on the team, somebody comes out there and just hanging out, and give him a pair of Jordan shoes or whatever. But I'm a little surprised that no teammate was out there. None that I know of was out there when he was out there for the grand opening.
What does that tell
just
you?
A little.
What does that tell you?
I don't know. Somebody's not. They're not talking to me right now, so it just. I don't know what it tells me. It tells me that none of the teammates were out there. That's what it told me. I'll just leave that for you to digest because you'll blow it up.
I am. I just reposted. I said. I just reposted Howard Eskin, folks. So I just wanted to make sure because we wanted to make sure Howard was taken in context here. So Big Stills put out there on Howard Eskin here. Make sure that video too. Howard Eskin said the best quarterback on the Eagles is Tanner McKee, not Jalen Hurts.
Right now. Right
now. Right now. All right. Yeah. So can this be fixed?
Anything can be fixed. There's always a solution to the problem. And you just got to find the solution. I don't know how it's going to be fixed. Jalen just got to play better. Jalen Hurts has to play better. He has to play better. And AJ obviously is upset because on the which play was it that he was open in the end zone? There was a play, it was a pass, and he was open in the end zone. Now, you're not going to, even the best quarterbacks don't always see all the players that are open. But, I know he gets upset if he's that wide open. I forget which play that was, but he was open in the end zone, and the Eagles it didn't execute on that play. And it's just there's things that are going on. The offense has got to get better. I mean, it's just the other team is not going to let you run the ball. And once they do that, they say, hey, listen, Jalen Hurts, he's going to have to pass the ball to beat him. And the Giants, Jackson Dart played his ass off. He really
was
played
incredible. Yeah, and Brian Dable outcoached Vic Fangio.
Again, the defense is not as good as last year, and they have some issues. Obviously, they have some issues on defense because they don't have as many players. But you're always going to lose players once you get to the Super Bowl because you can't afford everybody. You can't afford everybody. So now your young players have to step up, and the Eagles have had pretty good success at young players stepping up. But it's hard every year to have a player step. You lost two good defensive players in Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. You lost two. So I don't know what to tell you, but I think the Eagles have to get leads to force the other team to do something. The Eagles have to score points, and Jalen Hurts has to play better. I think it's that simple. And the other team is not going to let Saquon Barkley run the football. Whether he was never going to get 2,000 yards again. I mean, that was an unbelievable season, but he's not going to be as successful with the way the teams are playing defensively against the Eagles. So now the quarterback's got to make plays.
Do you think the Eagles are still the best team in the NFC?
Well, that's a tough question because I'm not sure about Washington. Dallas showed who they were by losing that game.
How about Detroit, though?
Oh, you said the NFC. I thought you meant the division.
The NFC.
Okay, the NFC. Detroit, they've got some injuries too. No, I don't think they're the best team in the NFC. I think Detroit is better. I don't know. I can't figure out the Rams. I just can't. I thought at one point that they were better. We'll find out more about Green Bay when the Eagles play them on
the Bucks?
You know what? I was thinking about them today. I think the Bucks are better right now. And the Bucks right now, I'm going to get smothered here in Philadelphia. The Bucks right now have a better quarterback. I mean, Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback, but anybody that disputes that right now is pathetic.
There's not even you know what? There's not even a second place guy right now that's in what this guy's doing. I mean, Howard, there's so many injured guys on that team. He took receivers 4, 5, and 6, and there was no drop off in the talent level of what they were doing against the 49ers. I mean, you're dead on. These are just amazing takes today. Would you bring back?
Yeah, you're going to get me. You're going to get people just go nuts on me now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to explain. I'll explain it and trying to get deeper into this. My next show is Wednesday night, so I'm going to try to explain it. I don't know how I'm going to explain it because you're going to put out crap out there.
You bet I am.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to kill me.
Oh no, you'll be ready to rock by Wednesday. Not that you're not always, but you're ready to rock.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I knew by saying that I was going to
Why do
hesitate
you
in
think
saying it.
Baker's better?
He's got guts to throw. He like Jackson Dart, and I'll get to the Mayfield thing in a second. He threw in the tight windows. He wasn't afraid to throw the football. I think Jalen hesitates in throwing the football. That's one of the reasons I don't think he has intercept. You're going to throw. It's going to be an interception here and there if you take chances. But more than that, I mean, look at Brett Favre, all those interceptions he threw, but he was a winner.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to turn the ball over. And that's the way the Eagles have, by winning the turnover battle. That's the way they've won games this year. But you got to throw it in the tight windows. You got to have confidence. You got to be there. And to Baker Mayfield, he takes, I don't want to say he takes chances. He's not afraid to make a throw into a tight window. And you've got to do that. That's the way you're going to be successful. That beats the other team up. The other team, it just, they're frustrated. Oh, I got tight coverage, and they still completed the pass. Sometimes you got to make that play, but he's got to recognize that sooner than apparently he's not able to recognize it right now.
Do you believe that the Eagles are I'm not telling you that I think that the Eagles are shopping AJ. I don't believe that. But
No,
I do believe that other teams see what's going on. And why wouldn't you call? Any competent GM would call Howie and go like this. Howie, what's the availability potentially of AJ Brown?
Well, I think teams call about almost everybody.
Absolutely.
Now, you're not going to call Buffalo about Josh Allen. I mean, that would be like,
right.
Don't waste my
time.
I
could see Buffalo calling for AJ Brown.
Well, I could see a lot of teams calling for AJ Brown. I would be absolutely shocked if less than 7 or 8 teams have called about AJ Brown. They see what's going on. They know he's a really good receiver. They understand all that. So they're not doing their job if they don't call. Hey, the Eagles say, hey, listen, we want a 2nd-round pick. They probably would ask for a 1st-round pick, and you're not going to get that. Only with 1 year left and $32 million. But you've got to make the call, and the Eagles are going to ask for something ridiculous. And I don't know that I even trade him for a 3rd-round pick right now, because if you straighten it out with the quarterback, I said and I'm telling you, it's not the offensive coordinator. I'm telling you right now, it's the quarterback. So if you straighten it out, you're going to need AJ Brown. You're not going to win with just Smith and Dotson. I mean, that's not going to work. I mean, and Goddard has done a really nice job as tight end, but AJ Brown and Smith make it work. So you got to ask high, but I would be I'd be shocked if they traded. If you get a 1st-round pick, you say yes, and then you live with it.
So you believe he's not retiring an Eagle?
Who?
AJ Brown.
No, too much cash. You know what? I don't think AJ's a bad guy.
No,
I just think he enjoys the limelight.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like himself being, like 60th in pass receptions in the league.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that. I mean, it's an insult to his talent and his ability. And I think he looks at that. But so no, he's not retiring.
Am I correct by deducting then that the that the wide receiver doesn't respect the game of the quarterback that's in Philly? If I take your
I think he's challenged with some of the things that are going on.
Okay.
And I don't think he's the only player on offense that's challenged with these things going on. He's the only guy that opens his mouth. And I don't think he should. Just let that go and just deal with it. But I guess he's frustrated because it's not going to get done. But unless the quarterback plays better, it's not the coaches. It's not the coaches. Unless it gets done, it doesn't matter.
See,
you're gonna.
Wait a minute. This is why this guy here is the freaking king of kings, because he refuses to go down the rabbit hole and he refuses to go down the trap door that I throw open. He just won't do it. and I like the way you walk around the trap door here.
Well, yeah, but
Because you know why? The AJ doesn't respect the game of Hurts. He does.
well,
He likes him. He likes everything about
he
Philly.
doesn't like the fact that he's not getting it
limited.
done when he should be. Limited is your word.
Oh.
He is limited. I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. He's limited.
Should they call BG?
BG
Brandon Graham.
For what?
For depth on the edge.
No, you can't come back and play after you've not played for, he has it. No. I think he really enjoys his life right now. I think he
was forced into retirement by Howie.
Well, they weren't going to give him $5 million is not a lot for his position. But in the end, he had less and less snaps. You noticed that last year. He had less and less snaps.
Yeah.
So,
but Howard, when he did,
you don't want a guy to play too long, and then he gets hurt, and then that's not fair. That's not fair to him. Usually, players play a year. Not usually. There are players that play a year too long than maybe one less year. And that's the issue. When Brian Dawkins was traded, and I know Brian Dawkins is God to Philadelphia Eagles fans, but when they traded him, he got hurt the next year. Was it Denver they traded him to, right? Was it Denver? I think he went to Denver. He got hurt the next year, and the Eagles still won 11 games that year without him. They didn't go anywhere in the playoffs. I forget how far they did go. But, he got hurt the next year, and sometimes you can see that, okay, the time is now. And I think Brandon knows that. And Brandon, to his credit, is not going to he can make $5 million, walking the street and sticking his hand out. So that's not the issue. And he can always go down there and talk to guys and work with guys and feel like he's a part of it. But no, they can't, and they can't bring him back.
Okay, then hook me here up on this one. Why did Howie Roseman decide to buy off the used car lot in the offseason when it came to replacing players and not go into the new car area to try to get new talent to be able to replace the Milton Williamses, the Josh Sweats? And you know what else too, Howard? I was told that Gardner Johnson was an asshole and that he was going to cause problems in the locker room. I'll tell you what, you got more problems in your locker room right now than you did a year ago. I mean,
with Gardner Johnson, you also had to worry about him outside the locker room. That was another issue.
Well,
you're going to get in trouble
2 years
somewhere.
He was in Philly. You did go to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it was a nice player, but you had to keep your eye on him all the time.
Okay.
I'm okay with them moving on because they felt they had something there. But let me go back to your original question.
Okay.
You said, why didn't they sign the new car or get the new car rather than the pre-owned car? It's not, they're not called used anymore. They're called pre-owned. Just to, correct you in just another little terminology. They're pre-owned. They're not used. All right.
Okay, why did they pull the car out of the swamp and fix it instead of going and getting a new car?
Because a new car costs more money than a pre-owned.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but if that was the case, they would have kept Milton Williams. And they got a 3rd-round pick for Josh Sweat, I think, in a compensatory pick. So that's still pretty good. But Milton Williams, they would have re-signed him if that's what they wanted to do. But they couldn't afford it. They had to hope that the younger players were going to step up, the guys they drafted. That's why you've got to have good drafts to replace players, because you can't keep everybody. Kansas City won a hell of a game against Detroit. However, they're not the same team they were 2 or 3 years ago. Whether Taylor Swift's at the game or not, they're not the same team. And now Caitlin Clark's got to join the party. Come on, please. Come on, Caitlin. You didn't play half a year. She's got to join the party.
Oh, man, they're all sitting up there drinking and having a good time.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I got one for you here. So you got your boy Carson Wentz this weekend, man. I mean,
I know he did a nice job. I don't think Minnesota's announced who's going to start yet on Sunday.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I think McCarthy is eligible to come back.
Yeah, so McCarthy's eligible to come back. Carson Wentz did a nice job. He did do a nice job for Minnesota, but J.J. McCarthy's obviously a better quarterback. The Eagles are favored, and they should be favored, but Minnesota's defense is not chopped liver either. I mean, these teams It's another tough game, but they've got to win against Minnesota. They've got to win, or I'm telling you, the fans might be standing outside their facility with signs and I don't
You
want to
know,
say anything physical
I
because
know
the
that
world's
you're like a pom-pom guy for Nick. I know that because me and Angelo were
I
on.
think he's a good coach. That's
How you don't think he's lost the locker room?
Hey, wait a minute. No, no, I don't think it's him. There's nothing he can do. I don't think it's him. The quarterback's got to play better. I think the quarterback's lost some players.
So you think the quarterback's lost the room? No, wait. I bet that's the quarterback has lost
Lost
the
some
huddle.
players. We already know
You
one
think
of
he's
them.
lost the huddle?
The who?
The huddle, offensive huddle.
I can't tell you that, but the things that go on leading up to that. There's probably some questions in there when they come back from a play, and there's some questions. If AJ's wide open and he comes in and say, "Hey, man, I was open," it just when I do this and I do this, and so those kind of things. But I don't think it's a coach. It's too easy to blame the head coach. I
It is.
think he's creative. I think you tell me if you're the head coach what you can do if your quarterback's not playing at the level you need him to play. Tell me what the head coaches can
Nothing.
do. No, because you can't
That's
bench
Bill
him. You
Belichick.
can't.
You don't have the quarterback in the building.
Yeah, you can't bench him because then all hell breaks loose in Philadelphia. And then, although I think right now Tanner McKee's a better quarterback, but you can't bench him because then the whole thing just completely blows up. So I don't know what he can do. It's not pom
That's
poms
fair.
for Nick Sirianni. It's just, hey, listen, their coaches. I'll never forget, and this was a long time ago when Marion Campbell was the head coach. And I got along great with Marion Campbell. I forget, did he replace Vermeil? I think he
Yeah.
replaced Vermeil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I said one night on my Sunday night show on television, I said, hey, they got to make a change. This guy's lost the locker room. And Marion came up to me after the Monday news conference. He says, I heard what you said. I said, Marion, I'm telling you, these guys don't respect you anymore. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't know what you can do, but if I see something, I got along great. He was a wonderful guy, terrific person. But when you see something's wrong, you see something's wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't see it's the head coach where the something is wrong. I don't think, and I don't think it's the offensive coordinator. I'm telling you, it's so easy. It's so easy to blame him. It's just, hey, last year was just one of those years. And mainly, I think because they could run the football and teams didn't defend and try to stop that.
Would this
Now, and the offensive line is good, but not as good.
be fair, Howard? Would you say this? That the coordinator and the head coach are confined in a box because of the limitations that the quarterback has, that they're limited in the plays that they can actually call, and that's why there's a ton of go routes. That's why everything's predictable out of the eye set when you put Barkley in the backfield. I mean, there's a great example of it with Kellen Moore. He's throwing the ball 45 times a game now because that's what he wants to do. That's who he is, win or lose. That's what that coordinator's idea.
He couldn't do that last year,
He
and he
couldn't
didn't need to do that.
Because he knew the quarterback was limited and he had Barkley. The team wasn't improved last year offensively. How he improved the team? By adding Barkley. I mean, a year ago, really, Kellen Moore didn't do anything to improve Jalen Hurts as a passer, did he?
Nope. No, I mean, Jalen Hurts had one of those years because everything worked in the running game. It's just, boy, when you look at it, when you say, and you said limited, offensively, the coaches are limited offensively because of the quarterback. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me check that one there. All right, go ahead.
You're gonna get my ass. I'm telling you, that guy from the Eagles. And I saw you bury him this week.
Oh yeah, because you know why? When you're posting out there that the meeting and all that bullshit meeting that they put out there, like there was an hour and a half meeting, which turned out, according to
I
AJ,
never saw that. Yeah, well, just
get this. They were like, there was some hour and a half, and
I
then
know.
Jalen was asked, it was teammates being teammates. AJ was asked about it. He goes, we were walking to our cars in the parking lot, and it was three guys saying something, and we walked in. There was no meeting. And the Eagles made it seem like there was some powwow that everyone got things off their chest. That never happened.
No, no, it didn't. It's just the Eagles try to, and I shouldn't say the Eagles because it's not the
No, it's
organization.
one dude.
It's one guy that tries to control every single narrative. You can't do that. Just let it roll, let it flow. And when you put something out there, I've talked to a couple of other the PR people around the league. In the world we live in, it only lasts for 24 hours anyway.
Yeah.
It's got a short.
Out
One
of sight,
guy,
out of mind in 24
well, yeah,
hours.
one guy said it lasts for 24 minutes. And then you move on. Let it go. Let it
Right.
go. Don't
Why
make
do
it
you
up.
keep
Don't.
opening the scab?
Yeah, right. Don't make it up, and don't deny people the right to be able to do their job and
Ask simple
make them
questions.
seem like they're, this is, what did you do? What do you mean what did I do? I'm just reporting what's going on. So yeah, I feel
Was it
bad.
like this
I feel
under
bad for certain people there.
Was
I
it
do.
like this under Andy?
No, no. Andy wanted to control it, but Andy's the one that controlled it, but he let it out. I mean, last week, didn't he
Oh, no,
criticize
he
Patrick?
called up Mahomes.
Yeah, he called out Mahomes. So
Yeah.
he knows once in a while you can do that,
Yeah.
but you got to know who the people are.
Right.
And Patrick
Had a
Mahomes won't
great
be
game
offended.
last night.
Yeah,
Called
and
him out,
Mahomes,
had a great game.
he won't be offended by that,
Right.
where some other people may be. So you got to know who your personalities are. But I think it's too much now with the Eagles. I'm telling you, I'll say this, I don't know what Nick Sirianni said today. I'll listen to it after we're done. I'm sure he didn't say anything because he's told not to say anything.
Yeah.
But on Tuesdays, when the coordinators speak, I think they're both very honest. They're not going to come down on a player, but they're going to kind of give you a pretty good idea. This is good. This is not good. Vic Fangio is so honest. I think Kevin Patullo does a really nice job at his news conferences. It's okay. It's okay. You just tell people and, let happen what happened. You're not burying somebody. You're not going to bury somebody. But it just, I like the Fangio and Kevin Patullo
Me
in these
too.
conferences.
Me
Yeah.
too. How about this one here? How much responsibility, if he gets all the love, how about not responsibility? How about accountability that Howie Roseman takes with not replacing Milton, not replacing all the players? How much accountability? He took a blowtorch to the defense that was number one. I mean, you want to hear this, Howard? That defense a year ago is more accomplished than Gang Green because they ran through the tape. That Gang Green didn't run through the tape. Now, I knew the offense. I know they were limited. The offensive line was limited. The play calling was limited. I got all that. I know that Buddy only cared about that side of the ball. There's more talent in Gang Green. But accomplishment-wise, those guys were number one across the board, and they ended up winning a Super Bowl in an iconic fashion versus an iconic Chiefs team. He takes a blowtorch to that team, and they don't replace the players.
Well, sometimes you can't afford them because all right, and he's got to look down the line. You're going to have to sign Jalen Carter, right?
Okay.
And Drew Rosenhaus is not going to take peanuts.
No.
So you're probably going to have to re-sign. You have to think about re-signing Jordan Davis because this is his last year. You got to think about re-signing Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So that's four people that are going to cost you a lot more money than you're paying them right now. So, you got to think about that. You're going to say, well, how am I going to fit all these people in if I keep these other people? I understand.
So they mortgaged 2025 for 26 and 27 is what you're saying.
Well, you were hoping that the good pieces that you had would be good enough.
Okay.
Especially when you know.
So that's misevaluation then, right?
What's that?
That's misevaluation then on your current roster.
Well, but you're also looking at the other teams. Is Jaden
Okay.
Daniels going to take a step up? Are they going to be a team that challenge you? You didn't worry about the Giants, and you never worry about the Cowboys because they suck and they have Jerry Jones making all those decisions. And then you live with what the other teams you got to try to live with what the other teams outside your division are going to do. And in the division with the Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit, they're going to beat each other up too. So maybe you think about that and you say, okay, if the Eagles, if they have the best record in the conference, and if they have the best record in the conference, and there were reasons to think that they could, then they get a bye and they get the home field. And that's so important in the playoffs. So you probably take all those things into consideration. Hey, listen, Howie's made some mistakes. So does everybody.
Yeah.
But right now, I can't blame him for not re-signing Milton Williams and Josh Sweat.
Mike, again, the only problem I have with the Milton thing, so you developed a third-round pick. He's 26 years old. I get the money. Okay, I get it. $26 million, but that's the going rate, Howard, for a really great defensive tackle. And do you see what they're doing? They're 4-2 now, and their defense has been turned around, and he's having an all-pro season up there. And they're going to make the playoffs, the Patriots.
Okay, but they didn't have a quarterback making 50. They didn't have a wide receiver making 32, and they didn't have another wide receiver making 25.
Great take.
So
yes,
between those guys, you're over $100 million.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Because you know what? You
for
can
three players over $100 million.
You can sign a $26 million DT when your quarterback's on a rookie deal.
Yep. And then you kind of figure it out down the line. So you got to take all those things. Hey, listen, I was pretty good at math, but I don't know all the things there, but I know what they have. They have to look down the line. Well, we're going to have to sign this guy. We're going to have to sign this player. And, you can't keep everybody. You just got to hope the young players that are on rookie deals are going to play better. I don't know if they're going to re-sign. I guess if they get a good deal, I think after this season, you can re-sign Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. I think you can. You have the ability to be able to re-sign them because their years aren't up yet. No. But to get a better deal by signing.
Cooper doesn't have a fifth-year option. Q does. So they may do something with the fifth year and like they did with Devontae.
Right.
So Cooper doesn't have that because he's a second-round dude.
Yeah.
So, now how about this one with Carter? How much you going to pay Carter based off of what you've seen so far this year where it's been a dud for him? People were talking $40 million, Howard. This in a way helps them in negotiating because he hasn't played well.
Well, not with Drew Rosenhaus.
Fair enough. I know Drew a long time. No way.
I know Drew and I have had our ups and downs. I think we're on the ups right now.
How about this? You know what he used to do at the University of Miami? So Jimmy, he used to come over.
Other than sit in the first row and talk to the players.
Bro, no. He used to come over to our. He used to come over to our locker, and he used to come over to our practice at Green Tree. And Jimmy goes, "Get that son of a B out of here! I don't want to see that son." This is when he was trying to break into being an agent. Nobody had gone with him yet. Dennis Erickson was the one where he got Ray Lewis. He got Sean Taylor. He got all the Ed Reeds. He got all them guys, Vince Wilforks. Before you know it, they're all pimping him around. And before you know it, Drew Rosenhaus turns out to be this star. This guy used to walk around with brown paper bags. I thought there were sandwiches in them. But I don't know, man. I think there was something else to know.
Yeah, he's an interesting. He's
interesting. That's
in the end, he does a good job for his clients.
Excellent job.
And I like Bailey too. I know Bailey.
Yeah, Robert Bailey. Right.
Yeah, I know
Former King.
Yeah.
What do you think Jeffrey Lurie's thinking of all this right now?
He's not happy. He's not happy. Not happy. He's not happy. What's he? Yeah, but the owner, especially during the season, trades are Band-Aids. If you need one player, Well, the player that's got to get better. You don't need any players if the player you need to get better gets better. Um, so I don't. He can't be a happy guy. Just knowing him, but he doesn't go out there like Jerry Jones. He doesn't go out there like some of the owners, like some other owners. He stays in the background. I think Jeffrey Lurie is one of the nicest, smartest owners in sports. I really do, because once he understands, you hire people to do a job. If they're not doing the job, you move on. You let them do the job and you
Okay.
don't interfere. Now,
Well,
obviously he's got say. I think Jeffrey Lurie is the reason, ultimately is the reason Nick Sirianni's the head coach.
okay, how about this? So to go down your line, okay, who's he not happy with?
Well, can you be happy with the quarterback's play right now?
No.
Okay. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to get, Josh Allen?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm not extending that guy.
Well, he's still got 2 or 3 more years left, right?
He's got a review clause in there in 2 years.
Okay. Well, yeah. So in other words, you're going to have to live with this he's got to get better before those 2 years. In those 2 years. He's got to get better. He's got to get better.
He gets benched by the end of the year.
I don't think he gets benched. No. I do not think he gets benched.
You think he's worthy of being benched?
I'm sorry. God, my earpiece. I got a problem.
You're too good, man.
You know what? Is your microphone working?
How?
See that? I see. I didn't hear. I didn't hear what you had to say.
Look at this. People are like this. Answer it.
I didn't hear the question.
Oh man, let me bail you out on this one then. How about your boy James?
You've already buried me. What do you fans?
Oh wait, you just wait for 45 minutes from now. Hey, wait.
I'm waiting for another threatening call.
Oh no, don't worry. He'll be on the horn soon. The what's it? The Maybelline guy or the Max Factor? He worked at like a cosmetic place, but you know this, right? Bob Lang worked at a cosmetic place before he worked with the 49ers.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason he and I don't get along, I used to have to go over his head to get to Mr. DeBartolo, and I used to call Eddie and I go, Mr. D, I need to get Carmen on. Carmen would come on and he'd call me up and I'd go, hey Bob, I'd like to have you do your job, but you just don't. And I was on KMBR at the time. And KTO was putting the games on, thank God. But that's when I was a little bit more that's when I was more of an asshole. And I've kind of calmed myself. I'm more of a pacifist now. Hey, yeah, James Franklin, what'd you make of that thing?
I've said he was a fraud for at least 2 years. Total fraud. I'm surprised they're going to pay him all that money.
$48 million.
But they hope he gets a job. So in college, it's not necessarily offset, but I'm sure the agreement was if you get another job, that money comes off what we owe you. Yeah. But where's he going to get a head coaching job? The guy's a stiff.
Whoa, he's 120 and dude, that guy's got a great.
I don't care what he is. He plays high school teams. Against the good teams, he doesn't win.
With you.
His first 3 games were against high school teams this year. So he's got all those wins. Who does he beat? Does he beat the really good? Does he beat the top 10 or top 15 teams? Most of the time, and I mean, the record speaks for itself. Most of the time, he doesn't. He's a good recruiter. He's a phony. He's a con man, but he can't coach a lick. He just can't win big games. He just can't do it.
Okay.
And then his bullshit after the game.
Wait. I want to throw this at you. So this coach was 35-47 versus top 10 teams in his career. Versus top 5 teams, he was 13-33. Do you know who that guy is?
No.
It's Joe Paterno.
Yeah, back then
Now, college was different. It was
Yeah,
independent.
college. Yeah, it was college was different. It really was different. And I don't know. Hey, listen, those
And
people
Penn
at Penn
State played
State.
everybody back with Joe Pa. I mean, every week was a big game.
Yeah, I thought he was. What happened at the end. The fact that he let that stuff go is not good. But I thought he was.
I respect him as a
I
coach, but
I
that thing
respect him
there,
as a coach and as a
yeah,
person, and
yeah,
but
yep,
what he did at the end obviously
yeah.
wasn't good. But you don't even compare Joe Paterno to James
No,
Franklin. That's just
absolutely not.
that's.
I mean,
I know, but where's James Franklin going to get a head coaching job at a really big school? Where's that going to
no,
happen?
he's going to get a coaching job at like USF, University of South Florida, something like that. He's not going to get a coaching job at Ole Miss
Yeah,
or like places in the SEC. That's not going to happen. But he'll be able to get a coaching job at a place like that because those coaches aren't going to be. You can't hire a guy like that with that resume. One thing you could say about his recruiting, I mean,
yeah.
Howard,
So he'll
look at the
get
draft.
players. He's got a chance to
Look
be
at a
better than
draft.
him.
Look at a
Yeah.
draft. Every year is a Penn State guy, right?
Yep. So it just, but he's he's a horrible coach. And I'm just surprised that they made the move. I'm surprised because they have $700 million that they're spending in renovations. 700 million. But I said this. I put out a tweet when I put out that he was fired. I says the alumni can expect a letter asking for donations because now they'll lean on the alumni to try to have to pay his buyout. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of the big time alumni, the owner of the Buffalo Bills is a big time Penn State
Pagula.
guy. Yeah, Pagula. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he built didn't he build their
Yeah.
ice skating rink? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He also owns the Sabres.
yeah, right.
Hey, by the way, just some news came in. Trey Hendrickson is now day to day all of a sudden. Howie calling up Duke Tobin to go get him some Trey Hendrickson. All of a sudden, Trey Hendrickson, who's been playing okay, is now day to day, and he's now being listed as day to day. He didn't. I saw him play. He didn't look like he was hurt at all. All of a sudden, he's day to day now.
you don't know all these things that are happening. But again, he's got a lot of draft picks, but I don't know that he's willing to give up good draft picks. Multiple, but I don't know about good. And that's what it all is right now. I don't know that teams want to take players. They want to get teams want to get draft picks to try to build themselves back
So
up.
Nick Sirianni said at the presser today, Howard, he was asked if the play calling will change in any way after looking to find solutions during the mini buy. He said, nope.
What does that tell you?
It tells you it's the quarterback. Howard said the worst quarterback right now in Philly's the one starting.
Well, I don't know if he's the worst quarterback because they have a third string guy named Sam Howell, but Tanner McKee right now as we speak is better than Jalen Hurts right now.
One last one here. Wait. One last one. Oh, well, Rob Thompson. Word came down that your boy's being saved. What do you make of that?
I mentioned that on Saturday. I heard it. And here's the reason. Again, it comes down to the players, the way the team's constructed. They're a home run or a strikeout. You got to put the ball in play. I mean, you get home runs once in a while, but you got to put the ball in play. How did Seattle win that first game? The guy hit a home run, but you put the ball in play. You made contact. You put the ball in play, and the Phillies don't do that. And the thing is, and it's a shame. Rob Thompson obviously is a baseball guy, but you could put an AI person in the dugout, and the game's managed the same way because it's all done by analytics and computer generated stuff. And if you get rid of him, and he's got 1 year left, get rid of him, then you're going to bring somebody else in, no big name, who's going to have to do the same thing. So how's that going to change? I said Saturday he was coming back.
Okay.
I said
I
believe
want
he
to
was
do
coming
one
back.
thing if I can.
And I'm okay with that.